What's going on, everybody? It's Clifton Pope with Health, Fitness, Wealth, Business, and you're tuned into a very special edition of the HFWB Podcast Series, where information is the new money. And my entrepreneurs and business owners can relate to this, those profit and loss statements. We got to keep track of the income that's being generated and the revenue that's coming in and the expenses that are going out on a regular basis to keep your business operating and your entrepreneurship journey afloat. Which is why we got to show love to those accountants, y'all, because they help keep all those things in order. Which is why yours truly, Clifton Pope with Health, Fitness, Wealth, Business, currently recommends Strong Elm Business Solutions. I'm telling you, are you ready to elevate your business? Check out Strong Elm Business Solutions, your partner in growth and success. They specialize in tailored strategies that drive results, y'all, whether it's enhancing your chart of accounts, optimizing workflows, or providing top-notch business advice. Man, that came in handy for me getting my overall finances in order because Strong Elm Business Solutions are dedicated to empowering small and medium-sized enterprises with the tools they need to thrive in today's competitive market. From startup budgets to payroll and bookkeeping, Strong Elm Business Solutions are here to help. I'm telling you. Visit Strong Elm Business Solutions at strongelm.com and discover why they can help you achieve your business goals. Strong Elm Business Solutions are empowering strong clients for a stronger future. Yours truly, Clifton Pope with Health, Fitness, Wealth, Business, will definitely attest to that, which is why you need to visit strongelm.com and give Strong Elm Business Solutions a call at 361-944-0122. That's 361-944-0122. You won't be disappointed on that. My name is Clifton Pope with Health, Fitness, Wealth, Business, and I approve this message. Y'all stay healthy, wealthy, and blessed. And until next time, peace, love, and positive vibrations.
From, people can make their own decisions. People like yourself who spend the time on the internet and in social media should be able to determine what you want to use, right? You can determine if you want to use TikTok, if you want to create your own social media platform, or how you want to do it, right? It should be up to you, not up to the government. And that's what Project 25 says. That it's very, very, I think is a very strong argument in that regard, in that sense. Number 8. This is very controversial and very emotionally charged, I think. But what the project wants to do is it wants to remove the LGBTQ plus protections, right? It wants to abolish the quote unquote Gender Policy Council that was created by President Biden's administration. That council wants to advance equity in government policy. So the Project 2025 would, in fact, remove terms such as sexual orientation, gender identity from the records and policies. It also wants to rescind policies that prohibit discrimination on the basis of sexual orientation, gender identity, transgender status, and sex characteristics. Now, this is obviously a very, very personal and very, very important issue, right? And again, the structure of our government does not allow for the executive branch to simply wave a wand and say, this is how it's going to be. That's why the court has to weigh in, Congress has to weigh in on these things, and people have to make their voices heard through their elected officials and representatives, right? So that's what that would be from the project itself. Number 9, I alluded to a little earlier, cutting ties with China completely. Restrict access to China. Again, what's interesting is that capitalism prohibits or frowns upon determining who someone can do business with, right? So that seems to be a little inconsistent in that regard, but that's what the Project 2025 proposes. And 2 more. Number 10, reversing protections against discrimination in housing. Literally wants to undo work that's been done to make sure housing is equitable in this country. It speaks for itself. I'm not going to say anything more. I think people can determine for themselves what they want to do. And then lastly, implementation. So this calls for the government to have political appointees who are not career persons, but they're appointed and they take over thousands of jobs. And this is probably the biggest reach of the project. Most of the government jobs are persons who are in the area. They have technical expertise and they've gotten there by merit. There's a whole merit system, and they earn their way in. And then you have the political jobs, which is a small percentage of it. This proposal would have almost a reversal. It would have more of the jobs being political and fewer of them being merit-based. So that's the upshot of 2025. As you can see, it's huge. It's very important. And for your listeners, I think the most important thing I can recommend is to read it. It's just read it. Sometimes it may be very painful reading, but some of the points are important, and you should be able to have a working knowledge of what's in there. And I'm so grateful for you to have invited me to even talk about it, because I wouldn't have read it if I hadn't spoken to you about this issue. So that's the overall view of the Project 2025.
No, that's I'm great that you brought up all those major points on what people should know about Project 2025. And as Franklin just alluded to, and as I've been alluding to in the Know series for the HFWB podcast series, you could literally read the whole entire Project 2025 for yourself. Go to project2025.org. It is literally up there, the whole 922 page document. And trust me, there are some things in there that are beneficial and there are some things in there that are detrimental. It's just a matter of what situation you're in and how it can impact you based on the current position that you're in within the course of your life. That is very well said, without a shadow of a doubt. I wanted to ask you this in particular, based on your work, based on everything that you do within your profession and everything. What would be some key pieces of advice you would give to someone listening to the HFWB podcast series who not only is interested in practicing law maybe at some point down the road, but who particularly wants to get into the position that you're in, fighting for civil rights? What would you tell that person right now who's interested in pursuing that?
It's a good question. Clifton, I'd say number one, if the person is in high school, I would say be broad-based in your knowledge. Everything you're doing, don't say, I'm going to be a lawyer, so therefore math's not important. No, it's important. Understand math, science, because law touches everything. So in high school, be excellent at what you do. If you're not good at math, you're not good yet. Go out and find a tutor. I've said this many times to young people. If you have two students, one has an A and one has an A, but one had a tutor and one did not, doesn't matter. The A is the same, right? Or even a B is the same. A tutor is only someone who can help you understand something that's not as obvious to you as it might be. That's all. Get tutoring. Take the time. If it takes you longer to get something done, take the time to get it done, whatever it takes. I have a case against UCLA where my client is a PhD student. It takes her probably 3 or 4 times as long to read things because she's got some reading deficiencies in terms of her mental capacity, right? But she's brilliant. It takes longer. She puts in more time. That's it, right? So it just takes time. Give the time. Right? I'd say someone who's in college, same thing. Law has all connections. Everything you do in life, law touches it, right? So if you like the arts, that's fine. You can be a lawyer that works in entertainment or it works in art procurement. It works in any area. If you're an intermediate like yourself, law touches that as well. But be good. Take the time to be excellent in whatever you're doing in every subject. Take the time to do that. And then I'd say in law school, take advantage of the fact that your classmates, every level really, but in law school in particular, your classmates are going to go out and do some great things. Get to know them as people, because you never know when a phone call will help you understand a whole area of law you didn't know before. I mean, your friend, like this conversation, our mutual friend, Dr. Ellis, she's brilliant. I know her. I've learned much from her in the last several years because she's just brilliant and she's able to just give me information that I wouldn't have known, right? Doctors, lawyers, persons in politics, my friends from being in school. But you can't get that education if you're not educated, right? You're not there.
Yes.
You don't go to school. And that's the last thing I'd say is this. I've heard this a lot of times, you can learn this. Yeah, go to school. Go to school because going to school, I mean college, at least college, because the college experience is meant to allow you to touch base with persons you never get a chance before, at any other time in life. When you're out of school, you're too busy. You're into your own lane, right? In college, it's a lane where everybody's merging. It's merging. It's merger. That's the beauty of college. Get that information. That's what you need. That's why you need that as an individual. So if you want to be a lawyer, of course, you got to go to college. And then lastly, law school. I will say this: too many parents, myself included, as I've learned over time, are hung up on, well, what's the rank of the school? Find a school that suits your child or you, your interests, your what you want, and go and be into that school. Get into that school, learn it, learn the professors, know who they are, talk to them, go to office hours, dive into it, immerse yourself in it so that you can actually learn and come out of it very, very strong, and just study. Dedicate yourself to be excellent. It takes time. It may take me longer than it takes you, but guess what? If we both get to the same point, doesn't matter, right? Doesn't matter. Right? So when I taught law school, I told my students, I said, look, if you're a first year lawyer against a 25-year lawyer, doesn't matter. What matters is, can you prepare for the moment, the 10-minute oral argument, better than he or she can? If you do, you're going to win. It's that simple. Be prepared, right? Be excellent. Be prepared. Be enthusiastic. Understand that we're only here on this earth for a small length of time. Take advantage of it by being your very, very best.
I love it. And you touched on it many a times within this conversation, Franklin. Preparation, accountability, and be excellent in what you do. And I feel like you could accomplish anything that you train your mind to do and allow your body to follow suit. So that's very well said. And anyone who's listening to this episode of the HFWB Podcast Series should rewind that part and then some, just so it can be embedded into your brain slowly but surely, of course. Now we're at the point, Franklin, where we're actually going to ask you a list of questions that I ask everybody who comes onto the podcast, just so the audience can get to know you a little bit more. First question is this: what is the first thing you do or think of that you wake up every single day?
I do the rosary. I say the rosary. It's a prayer that it's a prayer. The Hail Mary, Our Father. I do the rosary, and that's so I can actually think about my day and what a blessing it is to have woken up in the first place. And no matter what it is, I woke up today. Someone didn't, and I got a chance. And I believe, that God is perfect. So God, there's a reason we woke up today. You and I woke up today. There's a reason for it. Let's find out what it is. Let's make sure that we honor that purpose by giving effort. And the other thing I would say, big thing I want your listeners to hear and to understand is that effort is praise. Praising God is through your efforts, through your work, whatever you're doing. Do it to your best of your ability. Do it till you're exhausted. That's how you praise, because God gave you the ability. You got to use it. And so you give someone a coat, right? A brand new coat, leather coat, and next day you see them throw them in the garbage. You're like, wow, I gave this person a brand new coat, throw it in the garbage. You feel very bad about that, right? Well, God gave us all these abilities. If you don't use them, it's kind of like the same things. Like, I don't need that ability. I don't need that. Thankfully, you're using your ability and your platform. You're working hard. You're trying to get better at it. You're trying to do it for obviously a long time. You're giving effort. That's praise. That's how I see it. So that's what I do in the morning.
I love it. I love it. My next thing is, when it comes to my business, health, fitness, wealth business, I'm a firm believer of health is wealth. You can't have one without the other. They're literally two sides of the coin. In your perspective, Franklin, what does health and wealth mean for yourself?
Everything. My mother had a knee replacement surgery back in March. And because she's 82 years old, because she had lived a life. She's watching her weight. That's be real. Her watching her weight, her diet. She's a dietitian by trade, but by watching those things and by exercising, when it came time for her to have that surgery, she was able to bounce back very quickly. She was able to even have the surgery because she was in good health. And so it's like you said, I think that's a wonderful thing. I'm gonna steal that from you. Health is wealth. I totally agree with you, because the person with the most money in the world would trade it all to have, a more healthy existence, a more healthy experience. So you're absolutely right. And things like controlling your diet, controlling your exercise, and getting rest. Getting rest is very, very important. Your body needs to recuperate. The cells need to be regenerate. You can't do without rest, without sleep. So that's very, very important to do.
I love that. I love that. And overall, Franklin, what do you think of when you hear the word community? What's the first thing that comes to mind for yourself?
Your neighbor, and that word, again, borrowing from Christ, love thy neighbor as thyself. Your neighbor is this. I'm not a mathematician, but this is very powerful to me. In your lifetime, you're probably going to come across less than 0.0001% of the population in the world in your lifetime, right? It's very few people you can actually meet and come across. Those you meet and come across is very special. They're in your world, and God determines how you're going to be judged based upon how you interact with those persons, right? So everyone you meet, that's your neighbor. Okay, so
Yeah.
the question is going to be, if that's your neighbor, how do you love them? Now you can't know them all. You can't, but you can love by respect. How do you treat someone? How do you want to be treated? Right? I see someone and say, hello, hey, how you doing? Good morning. Hold the door, because I'm acknowledging the fact that you and I are human beings on this planet at the same time in life. And if we can simply make each other have a better experience, that's good. That's a good thing. There's no need for me. If I don't like you or disagree with you, I can tell you, hey, you know what you're doing is not appropriate. I don't like what you're saying. Here's why. Conversation, as opposed to confrontation, right? Conversation. If I'm able to tell you my belief structure and support it, you gotta listen to me. And if I listen to you and it's different, then hey, you know what? You make a lot of sense. That makes sense to me. When I first, for example, I'm grateful for you, to you for this project, because I wouldn't have read it otherwise. I'm getting ready for trial. It's not my thing, but I did, and I said, you know what? There are some things in here that I agree with. I think that make sense, and that's what I want you to listen to understand. There's no such thing as a monolithic. This is bad. This is good. Look at everything and see. You get a fruit. You get a pineapple. If I try to eat the pineapple by just biting into it, I don't peel the skin. This is nasty. But if I peel the skin, throw away the skin, and I look into the fruit and the meat of the fruit, hey, that's pretty good, right? I put the seeds away. It's pretty good, right? So the same thing. Look at the whole thing and dissect it. What's good? What's bad? Keep what's good, throw away what's bad, right? That's what I think we should do. Our approach should be more discerning, be more careful. And so lastly, again, loving thy neighbor means find something about your neighbor that you can respect and you can honor, you can appreciate something, and that's all you say. That's it, right?
Yeah. When you respect when you respect them for who they are and that common bond, you just establish a little bit more unity in that community. That's for sure. And feel like that we could all benefit from loving our neighbor. I mean, we may not like them entirely, but as long as we respect them to a certain degree as human beings, we can build ourselves up in forms of, again, just unity and just, sharing that common bond, as far as like, just standing strong together more so than ever, if anything. I'm going to ask you a little bit of a either or as far as which one you would choose based on the scenario, Franklin.
Okay.
Would you rather choose loyalty or respect?
Respect.
Would you rather live in space or the ocean?
The ocean.
Would you rather be famous and poor or anonymous and rich?
I'd rather be anonymous and rich.
Would you rather have unlimited free meals at your favorite restaurant or unlimited first class tickets to where you can travel?
Tickets to travel.
Would you rather sing to every song or dance to every song?
Sing.
Now, picture yourself trapped on an island, Franklin. You have nowhere to go, but you have the option to listen to five of your favorite music artists of all time, their whole entire catalog included. Doesn't matter the genre. Who would those five music artists be?
Prince, Sade, um, Stevie Wonder. Uh, five. I would throw in Kendrick Lamar and um, Alicia Keys.
Can't be mad at that list, that's for sure. What's your favorite go-to meal, Franklin?
Favorite meal or go to? So the favorite meal would
Your
be
favorite meal, yes.
okay. Probably salmon patties with grits.
Love that. Love that. Where's your favorite place that you have traveled to thus far? And where's a place you would like to travel to that you've never been to before?
My favorite place to travel, have I've traveled, is Charleston, South Carolina. It's the birthplace of my father. And it's a tie between there and Cologne, Panama, where my mother was born. And I
Okay.
love to travel. I love to travel. I love to travel. If I could, to Ghana, I would love to see
Mm.
the ports where our ancestors were captured and shipped. I love to see that part of the world.
Take a trip down memory lane and take a trip down history, that's for sure. When you're not doing everything that you're doing on a regular basis, Franklin, what are some of your favorite hobbies that you like to do that many people may not know you like to do?
And I don't have any hobbies. I mean, honest, because I have six children. So my job is I work and I take care of them. That's what I do. Literally. Now that's not good. I don't recommend that for anyone. Um, I do enjoy watching my children when they do their sports activities and they do that. I like that. I only have one. My daughter's in high school now. She's the only one left that that for that purpose. But I enjoy myself playing. I play baseball. If I can with them, basketball, working out. But again, my focus is on my children, and so that's my job. That's my responsibility. And so
Family over everything, every single time. My last question as we wrap everything up, Franklin, if you had the opportunity to go back in time and talk to yourself 10 years ago, what would you tell yourself in that exact moment? And based on your current journey that you're on, where do you see yourself in the next 10 years?
I tell myself 10 years ago to concentrate on economic independence. I'd say that, and where I see myself in the next 10 years is trying to consolidate my efforts in terms of my work and in terms of my family, and make sure that they are manifest themselves in fruit. In other words, every experience that I've had legally needs to manifest itself in terms of my current cases. I want to see my children benefit from what I've done with their mother and with our interaction with our family, and make sure that they're all solidly in their lives, started in their life, whether being married or being, just with property, because this nation is designed for people who understand self-determination. That's what it's designed. It's not designed for you to live on someone else's property or live on someone else's dime or work for someone else. It's designed for you to live with self-determinated qualities, owning your own business, owning your own property, interacting with people, and make sure that your children and your family have the means of being able to get started on their own. That's what I would say.
I love it, Franklin. I love it. I enjoyed this powerful conversation that we had because I feel like everyone who's listening to this particular episode is definitely going to take something out of it, not only for the present moment, but going forward down the road for not only the rest of 2024, but 2025 and beyond. I couldn't thank you enough for this, without a doubt. Where can people get in contact with you just in case if they want to follow your journey, keep up with, of course, everything that's going on with your practice? Give some information to the people as far as how they can get in touch with you, Franklin.
Sure. The website is franklinferguson.com, and that's pretty much where you can see some articles I've written. You can see cases, and you can kind of, if you want to drop me a line, you can send me an email there. Happy to answer questions. And again, I'll say this, whether myself or someone else, reach out to someone else. Reach out and ask questions because people want to know. People are happy to give you information when you ask them. If you ask them, they'll give it to you. You got to ask them, right? Open your mouth and say, hey, what about this? What about that? Ask questions. And then if you don't find an answer from a person, go read. We have the most information at our fingertips possible in any point in history right now. So go out and read.
I couldn't stress that enough because to add to everything you just said to close things out, we don't have all the answers. We don't even have all the questions to all those answers. Therefore, you should look at your world as the world as a library full of information and resources at your disposal. That way you can continue to grow, continue to improve, and continue to evolve into the best version of yourself that you can be, not only for yourself, but everyone around you who loves and cares about you and who supports you the most, and vice versa. That's what I feel like everyone should take out of that message there within itself. But with that being said, Franklin, I can't thank you enough for simply taking time out of your productive schedule to simply bless us with an appearance on this HFWB podcast series. It was definitely very informative, that's for sure.
Thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate it. And your listeners, thank them as well.
No, of course, without a doubt, Franklin. And for that being said, I thank everyone for tuning into this particular episode of the HFWB Podcast Series. This is your host, Clifton Pope, encouraging y'all to stay healthy, wealthy, and blessed. And until next time, peace, love, and positive vibrations.
Bye.
What's going on, everybody? It's yours truly, Clifton Pope with Health, Fitness, Wealth, Business, and you're tuned into a very special edition of the HFWB Podcast Series, and it's being brought to you by my new book that just released on Amazon.com, October 30th, 2024, Consistency with a Sense of Urgency. And this is basically the trilogy to my first two self-help books, What's Wealth Without Work and A Dollar and a Vision, which are both also on Amazon as we speak. And basically, Consistency with a Sense of Urgency is all about how to overcome the lack of consistency and the truth on what is stopping you from putting in the work to create your own formula to success. We've all been there before, which is why I'm trying to help expose the cracks on where everyone is at when it comes to people who are having hard times staying the course. Consistency with a Sense of Urgency. This book is for those who truly want to stay after it in what they love and what they stand for by cracking the code on how to remain ready by staying steady so you can even out the odds against you, right? This book will break down how to decide what is important and urgent in your own life at this very moment. The sense of urgency is on because time is money, or is it really? Consistency with a Sense of Urgency will focus on all the information, knowledge, and secrets of yours truly, Clifton Pope, and how you can complete your mission to discover your sense of purpose in the world we live in. Who wouldn't want to do that, right? Which is why I say we are all here for a reason, and Consistency with a Sense of Urgency will help you discover that for anyone who needs a personal guide on how to do so. This is the book for those who are finally ready to quit making excuses and tackle your goals and or to-do lists once and for all, so growth, improvement, and evolution can take the course in your world for the greater good. So just like that, y'all need to hop on Amazon.com right here, right now, as we speak. Go order Consistency with a Sense of Urgency, my newest self-help book that I have personally self-published myself. Shout out to Amazon.com for that opportunity. Y'all stop what you're doing. Go buy Consistency with a Sense of Urgency. That way we can continue to remain consistent with a sense of urgency like never before. This is yours truly, Clifton Pope of Health, Fitness, Wealth, Business, and I approve this message. And go buy Consistency with a Sense of Urgency right here, right now. Let's make it an Amazon bestseller, a New York's bestseller, because this book is just for you. Let's remain consistent with a sense of urgency, y'all. Stay healthy, wealthy, blessed. Peace and love.